If you want to preach to the heart, you have to preach from the heart. If you want to preach to the heart, you have to preach from the heart. And that's not as easy as you think. What I mean by that is, to reach the heart, to preach from the heart means, I'll call it this, there needs to be a non-deliberate transparency about you. People need to be able to see as you're speaking that somehow the very truths that you're talking about have repaired you, have mended you, mean the world to you. Now, one of the problems I see is the alternatives to non-deliberate transparency are three. One is flat affect. Some people just speak with flat affect. They're just going through their notes, and that's certainly not going to reach anybody's heart. We all know that. But there's a lot of other people who are just excitable. You know, they're just excitable. They start off talking like this, and they're all the way through, they're just like this, and they're just passionate about everything. And it's not transparent. It literally is. It's excitability. It's like you're psyching yourself up. You're putting on your game face. People do not sense they're looking into your heart and seeing a person who's a trophy of grace, someone who's been repaired by grace, someone who's been wounded and humbled and no longer has any need to put on a show. I mean, that's what people are. That's what moves people. And I'm afraid a lot of us are too, frankly, too afraid, too aware of what kind of impression we're making, working too hard at trying to really be good. In fact, working too hard at trying to be passionate. If you're trying to be passionate, almost always that means that through the whole sermon, you're just like, it's the same level of excitability. You're just like this the whole way through. I remember some years ago, I remember the first time I went to visit a friend of mine. He became an elder at my church. And he lived in a house that literally was 10 feet from the railroad track, literally. And I knew that, but it didn't occur to me. Anyway, we went and we were sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden the train came by, and it really literally felt like it was coming through the roof. You know, it was just scary. And I remember I went like this, and he laughed, and he said, we've lived here for 20 years, and we don't even hear the train anymore. We don't even hear it. Well, that's what's going to happen is if you try to be passionate, and whenever you speak, you're passionate, and from the beginning, from the opening bell to the end, you're passionate. Maybe at the end you get a little more passionate. People it's just going to be like a train coming through. If every single time you're passionate all the way through, but basically people have got to see that when you get to certain places where the text is saying things that have really, really, really changed your life, that I don't know, you slow down, you just show it. That's non-deliberate transparency. Well, I've spent too much time on this. If you're going to preach to the heart, you got to preach from the heart.